Coventry is a city in the West Midlands, England. Bucephalus, affectionately known by Coventrians as Trigger, was located at the island at Greyfriars Green. The eye-catching black metal sculpture was created by Coventry University student, sculptor and resident of Coventry Simon Evans from scrap. In Greyfriars Green, there is a statue of James Starley. He was a British inventor and father of the British cycling industry. He added the tangent spokes and the mounting step to his famous bicycle named Ariel. The Coventry Sewing Machine Company was founded by James Starley in 1859. They started making bicycles in 1869 and changed the name to Coventry Machinist. In 1896, they became the Swift Cycle Company and started to make motorcycles in 1898. The Phoenix in Hertford Street is a sculpture that symbolizes the rebuilding of the city like a mythical phoenix bird rising out of the ashes of a fire. Chelmsford Manor is a 13th century medieval house and former royal palace in the heart of the historic Coventry. The manor was probably built in 1237 for the Earl of Arundel. The manor later passed to the crown, and when Edward III exiled his mother Queen Isabella from court in 1330, it was to Chelmsford Manor that she retreated. This artwork by Nomad Clan is Warwickshire's largest mural. It represents the city's past, present and future, with Coventry's watchmaking history a focal point of inspiration. The stars and nebula surrounding the clock face are a nod to Coventry's first watch and clockmaker Samuel Watson, who created timepieces for Isaac Newton. The flames represent the current climate crisis and the increasing time pressure to act. Fort's Hospital is a Grade 1 listed 16th century half-timbered almshouse in Greyfriars Lane. It was founded by the merchant William Ford in 1509 to provide accommodation for 6 elderly people, 5 men and 1 woman. Built around a narrow courtyard, it is one of the most perfect examples of timbered framed architecture in the country. It was badly damaged by an air raid in November 1940 but was rebuilt with original timbers in 1951 to 53. Coventry first began using its well-known elephant and castle arms in the 13th century. It is used as a symbol of strength. It was believed that the elephant was the strongest beast in the world and it was capable of carrying a castle on its back. The water nymph sculpture called the Naiad was created by artist George Wagstaff as part of his degree course in 1957. He based the figure on the girl called Doreen he met while he was on a holiday in Cornwall. Coventry was awarded UK City of Culture for 2021. Coventry began as a Saxon village. It was called Coventry, which means a tree belonging to Kofa. Trees were often used as meeting places. In this case, a settlement grew up around the tree and it eventually became Coventry. Third to sixth Priory Row, also known as Blitzkrieg cottages, is a row of timber-framed properties dating to around 1415. It is a remarkable survival of a pre-dissolution building at the heart of Coventry's High Street area. Named after the Lich Gate through which funerals once entered Holy Trinity graveyard, the jetted building is the only surviving priory building within the former monastic precinct. The Priory Visitor Center was home to a community of monks for 500 years, until it was closed down on the orders of King Henry VIII. The site has been excavated to reveal the remains of Coventry's first cathedral and the Priory undercrofts. The Holy Trinity Church dates from the 12th century and is the only medieval church in the city that is still complete. It is 194 feet long and has a spire 237 feet high, one of the tallest non-cathedral spires in the UK. Coventry Boy has no name, but represents all boys of all time who are proud to belong here, reaching out as always from rough spun to close weave for family and for city. Ira Friedrich Aldrich was the first African American actor to achieve success on the international stage. He pushed social boundaries by playing opposite white actresses in England and becoming known as the preeminent Shakespearean actor. This sculpture has been built by Faber Jonathan to honor Ira Friedrich Aldrich, who became manager of the Coventry Theatre in 1827. Starley Road was saved from demolition in the late 70s after a group of residents campaigned against the council. This mural was painted by Joe Rice to celebrate their success. The medieval Spawn Street is a historic street in Coventry. The street was once part of a route that ran from Gosford to Birmingham. completed circa 1440 as part of the fortified town hall. Swanswell Gate, originally named Priory Gate, gave access to the prior's lands outside the wall, including Swanswell Fish Pool. It was converted into a house, repaired and restored in 1932. The gatehouse and the gardens were presented to the city by Sir Alfred Herbert. The gate and the wall remains are now scheduled ancient monuments. Cook Street Gate is a scheduled ancient monument completed circa 1385 as part of the medieval town wall, which was demolished in 1662 by order of Charles II. Only 2 town gates have survived from the original 12. This is the only functional gate presented to the city by Colonel W.F. Wiley in 1913 and restored in 1918. The glass bridge rises in a spiral to take pedestrians up and over a medieval city wall and across the restored Lady Herbert Garden before arriving in the Garden of International Friendship. The bridge takes its name from the glass fins which envelop the parapets, but the structure is actually predominantly constructed of steel. Coventry-born Sir Frank Whittle was the inventor of jet engine. His statue is displayed proudly outside the Transport Museum in Coventry city centre for all the residents of the city to see. Spanning 60 meters across the service road, the Whittle Arch is a dramatic twin-arch tubular structure named after and commemorates Sir Frank Whittle. This mural, featuring the aerial bicycle by the artist Angry Dan, pays tribute to Coventry's James Starley, widely considered to be the father of the bicycle industry. This tree of hands sculpture by Sydney Stringer Academy School is the winning entry to the Gallery of Living History competition. It displays peace, equality, unity and acceptance. Located on Far Gosford Street, Fargo Village is an artistically repurposed industrial space designed exclusively for creative independent businesses and like-minded visitors. Opened on 27th of September 2014, it has rich cultural heritage. In the Godiva legend, Peeping Tom was a tailor who disobeyed Lady Godiva's order to the citizens to stay behind closed shutters while she made her famous ride naked through Coventry. He looked out and was stricken with blindness. Effigies of him were displayed in the upper windows of several buildings in the city centre before 1940. This figure was then on the railway inn at the end of Hertford Street. One of the most noticeable features of Broadgate is the Godiva clock on the south side of the square. Every hour, the doors open, and from the right-hand door comes a figure of Lady Godiva riding a white horse. She travels a short distance and goes through the other door out of sight. While this is happening, above is another window that also opens, and out pops the head of Peeping Tom. He has a quick look, then covers his eyes, as it is said he was struck blind, and quickly pops his head back in. Lady Godiva is a key figure in the history of Coventry. She was a late Anglo-Saxon noblewoman, the wife of Leofric, Earl of Mercia, and a patron of various churches and monasteries. This statue of Lady Godiva in Broadgate by Sir William Reed Dick was unveiled in 1949. Her legend from 11th century was first recorded in Latin by two monks at St. Albans Abbey. It was assumed these monks had heard the story from travellers who visited Mercia. According to the legend, her husband Leofric demanded an oppressive tax from Coventry citizens. Aiming to help the citizens, she pleaded for him to stop. Leofric supposedly said, "You will have to ride naked through Coventry before I change my ways." Lady Godiva reportedly rode a horse completely naked through the streets of Coventry, her long hair draped so that it covered almost her whole body, allowing only her legs and eyes to remain visible. Before beginning her journey, she told everyone to stay in their homes to preserve her modesty. However, one man known as Thomas disobeyed and couldn't help looking out at Godiva riding through the Coventry on the horse. Upon doing so, the legend goes, he was instantly blinded. The birthplace of the Godiva legend and the motor car in Britain, a medieval walled city and 20th century industrial powerhouse, victim of blitzkrieg and a center of international peace and reconciliation, Coventry is like no other British city. The Coventry Blitz was a series of bombing raids that took place on Coventry. On 14 November 1940, the city was bombed many times during the Second World War by the German Air Force. Codenamed Moonlight Sonata, the raid lasted for 11 hours and involved nearly 500 German bombers. The aim was to knock out Coventry as a major center for war production. It was said that Hitler ordered the raid as revenge on the RAF attack on Munich. Built circa 1583, the Golden Cross Inn is one of the most dramatic examples of medieval timber-framed building to survive in Coventry, with oversailing and jettied upper floors on exposed timbers. The magnificent west tower and spire of the ruined cathedral church of St. Michael was built between 1374 and 1450. It is 295 feet high and dominates the city center. It survived the air raid on 14 November 1940, which destroyed the remainder of the church. Built between 1340 and 1460, restored in 1824, St. Mary's Guildhall, located in the city's historic cathedral quarter, astonishingly escaped bombing raids during the Second World War. As one of the only remaining medieval buildings, it still stands as a testament to medieval Coventry's power and wealth. The building is scheduled as an ancient monument. The building was built in the medieval style between 1340 and 1342 and much altered and extended in 1460. The Cathedral Church of St. Michael, commonly known as Coventry Cathedral, is the seat of the Bishop of Coventry and the Diocese of Coventry within the Church of England. The city of Coventry has had three cathedrals. The first one was St. Mary's, a monastic building of which only a few ruins remain. The second was St. Michael's, a 14th century Gothic church later designated as a cathedral, which remains a ruined shell after World War II bombings. The cathedral is a symbol of wartime destruction and barbarity, but also of peace and reconciliation. The third is the new St. Michael's Cathedral, built immediately adjacent after the destruction of the former. The current and new St. Michael's Cathedral, built next to the remains of the old, was designed by Basil Spence and Arup, built by John Lang, and is a Grade 1 listed building. It was consecrated on 25th of May 1962. The new cathedral adopted a modernist design. This masterpiece, designed by John Piper, the baptistry window is made of 198 brightly colored glass panels and measures 26 meters high. The interior is notable for its huge tapestry by Graham Sutherland of Christ in Glory in tetramorph. The Cathedral Church of St. Michael was largely constructed between the late 14th century and early 15th century from red sandstone. It was one of the largest parish churches in England when in 1918 it was elevated to cathedral status on the creation of the Diocese of Coventry. This St. Michael's Cathedral now stands ruined, bombed almost to destruction during the Coventry Blitz of 14th November 1940 by the German Luftwaffe. The ruins of this older cathedral remain hallowed ground and are listed at Grade 1. 50 years after the Second World War, this sculpture by Josefina de Vasconcelos was given by Richard Branson as a token of reconciliation. An identical statue has been placed in the Peace Garden at Hiroshima on behalf of the people of Coventry.